Hello friends and welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to be trying out Emma Chamberlain's legendary coffee recipe, and we're actually going to be doing both versions that she has posted. So like 2 years ago she posted how she used to make her coffee, and then when she launched her coffee line about 4 months ago she posted an updated version, and both recipes are extremely similar. So I wanted to go ahead and make both options so we can see, is the Emma Chamberlain coffee line worth it, and all that, or yeah. So anyways, let's get started. So we're gonna start with her original version, which was, she made an iced coffee essentially. So we're gonna turn on our hot water. You can boil it however you want, just like she said in her video. I'm using my kettle, and yeah, and then we're gonna get our French press ready. So I'm just gonna take the stopper out and set it aside, and we're gonna grind our coffee beans. Now she didn't measure her coffee beans, so I'm just gonna do about how much she did, which she filled it like, so there was just a little bit of room left. So that's what we're gonna do. I think I'm gonna use this Brew single origin medium roast. It seems like a good option for iced coffee. So yeah, we're just gonna fill that up and grind it. Okay, so she filled hers up about to here, so that's what we're gonna do. And then we're just gonna pulse it like she did. Normally I'll just hold it down until I feel like it's ground enough, but she just kept hitting it, so that's what we're gonna do. And then I like to flip this upside down and catch all the beans in here, and we're just gonna put that directly into our French press. Okay, so now we're just gonna fill this about a quarter way with water, or with our boiling water. And then we're gonna give it a stir and let it sit for about 30 seconds. In Emma's video, she said she didn't know why you did this, and you do this so the coffee can bloom and release gases so you get the full flavor of your coffee. Okay, so it's been about 30 seconds, so now we're just gonna fill this to the top, and I'm gonna put it in there in circular motions just so the crust is even, but you don't have to do that. Okay, so our French press is filled up. We're gonna put the lid on and then wait for about 4 minutes. Okay, so while we're waiting on our French press, we are going to work on the Chamberlain coffee cold brew. So I just have this glass jar. She used a mason jar for hers, which also works. I just couldn't find the right lid for my large mason jar, so we're gonna use this. And she takes 3 of her steeped coffee bags, and she just puts them in there like this. One thing I do find interesting about the Chamberlain coffee is she doesn't drink hot coffee. She makes that very clear in most of her videos that she hates hot coffee. But on the back of these bags, it tells you how to make it as hot coffee and not as cold brew, which is how she uses it. Which, I don't know, I just found that interesting. I mean, it doesn't really matter. There's multiple ways you can use these, but I just did find that kind of interesting. Okay, and then she just used the lines in her mason jar to measure at 600 milliliters of water, but like I said, can't find the right lid for my mason jar, so I just measured out 600 milliliters in this pitcher, and we're just gonna put that right in there. And then I'm just gonna kind of do one of these to make sure that the bags are completely saturated. And we're gonna put this on and stick this in the fridge for 20 to 24 hours. Okay, so it's been 4 minutes on our French press, so now we're just gonna press it, which, like Emma said, that is the most fun part of a French press. And then we're just gonna put that into my other big glass jar. Okay, so we're gonna pop this in the fridge overnight. She says to do it for an hour in her video, but really it doesn't matter. You just want to get this cold. So we're gonna put that in. Okay, so just kind of initial thoughts before even trying the coffee. Something I noticed about both recipes is it does not make very much, which is okay. I think for the French press it's a little more economical, but a major complaint with the Chamberlain coffee is that it is pretty expensive, which I can kind of see why. I know that her packaging is all renewable and compostable, which is awesome, and you know, it might be super delicious, so we'll see. But I do think 600 milliliters for 3 bags of coffee, I mean, you're probably gonna get like 2 cups of coffee out of that, depending on how much coffee you like to drink. So I don't know if it's the most economical choice for drinking coffee. But anyways, I'll be back tomorrow and we will finish up the coffee and try it out, and I'll tell you my thoughts on Emma Chamberlain's legendary coffee recipe. Okay, so it's the next day, so we're going to take out our cold brew. And it looks like it's steeped really well, so we're just gonna discard of these coffee bags, and they are compostable if you do compost. Okay, so cold brew is ready. And so is our iced coffee. Right off the bat, what I'm noticing is the iced coffee version does make more than the cold brew version. Not necessarily a good or bad thing either way, just something to consider when making these recipes. So I'm first gonna try some of the cold brew without all of the milk and stuff that Emma puts in it, just because I'm curious what her cold brew tastes like in its pure form. That's good cold brew. It's really strong. You could almost cut it with some water to make some more out of it. I know Emma likes really strong coffee, but it is very similar to like toddy. So honestly, cutting it isn't a bad idea. But for this purpose, we are going to be using it how she did in her video. So I have this mason jar with some ice in it, and I'm gonna fill it up about to here, which I think is the 12-ounce line, with the cold brew. Oh, yeah, the cold brew. And then I'm gonna do the same thing in another mason jar with the iced coffee. Okay, so here we have this. This is the cold brew and this is the iced coffee. Next, I'm just gonna take some original almond milk. She does use a different brand in her video, but I couldn't find that, so we're going with this. And she just puts probably about that much in there in both of them. This is essentially the same recipe in both coffees. And then what she says is the key ingredient to her iced coffee is the Nut Pods Original Almond and Coconut Creamer. I'm not a creamer person normally, but we're gonna give it a try. And she just tops it off with this. Now I'm gonna go grab a straw so we can mix it up. Okay, so for the cold brew version, that's honestly really good. It's very almond milky. If you don't like almond milk, probably wouldn't be your thing, but it's really good. And I do see where she's coming from with that Nut Pods creamer. That is really delicious. And now for the iced coffee. Also really good. This definitely isn't as strong as the cold brew is. And like I said, it is very strong cold brew that she makes in most places would probably cut that if you're making that in a coffee shop setting. Normally you cut your cold brew. So, I mean, both are delicious. I honestly would recommend her coffee recipe for anyone. It's super easy, pretty low maintenance, and really good. The one thing I would say is the actual Emma Chamberlain coffee line is a little expensive for what it is if you're not cutting your cold brew, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think the fact that she is using compostable products and making her brand sustainable is awesome, and I feel like you can pay more if it's doing good to the world and it's not wasteful. So I do see where the cost is coming from, but it doesn't make a whole lot of cold brew with her recipe. But if you're doing the recipe that's actually on the back of these bags, which is to steep one of these in your cup of coffee for 5 minutes, then it's about $2 per cup of coffee if you get the smallest grouping, which is 5 bags of coffee, which isn't that bad, especially if you are going out to get iced coffee all the time. That's not a bad price. So that's totally up to you and where you would want to spend your money. It is good coffee, and I do see where the price is coming from, but it is a little expensive. But anyways, overall, I really enjoyed Emma Chamberlain's coffee recipe, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!